Hello guys, we're gonna start in here in just a minute. Just gonna share a link here. Alright. Okay. This is the big pay-per-view here. For IGW. IGW WrestleQuest. This is pretty much going to be our WrestleMania, quote-unquote, for IGW within the TWN. We also got some guest wrestlers from other promotions in this card as well. The first four are interpromotional matches, so we get to see some action there. The first one is Billy Kidman versus Sting from FTOA, so we get to see some of that go on here. Sting from TWL, not FTOA. He used to be there, but he's not anymore. So my bad there. All right, let's see how this one goes. Should be interesting. Hi DPS, how you doing? Yes, the Stinger. I'm okay. You know, started a new job today. Definitely a little kinder to the hours, so I still do plan on doing two streams today, this being the first. Just gonna have them be a lot closer to each other. That second one's gonna be that oh, X Factor there, a little wrestler creation, like No Mercy for that fictional promotion we're doing. And of course, I also plan on doing some just playing of the game as well, like I did last time. So it won't just be Yeah, it's a lot better than the one I had. Oh, wheelbarrow suplex, the one before. So it'll definitely be a lot more kind to you. Yeah. Oh, power slam. But yeah, I agree, man. But yeah, I do plan on that No Mercy one pretty close to after this one. So I did post a couple of name ideas in the Discord for the guy. The guy we're gonna be doing this one is gonna be old school style. So think somebody like I guess like someone like a Frank Rust or something like that. Someone just like old school. So that'll be the goal there. I don't know if we'll do two guys in this one, in that one, just because I do want to try to make it a little less than 2 hours. That because the last one went about 2 hours because we did a lot of stuff and we did a lot of thinking. I want to try to tighten it up just a little bit. I mean, you can clone movesets. And then you can go in and edit the moves. So it does have a pretty solid system. And there's definitely guys will do that for. It's just, I just feel, it just depends on... Angle's in it. I don't know if, oh, man, I don't know if William Regal's in the game. I don't remember. Fucking DDT there. But yeah, I mean, we can clone a moveset, then just go through it and see, because... Yeah, exactly. Scorpion Deathlock. Yeah, because that's the thing, like, we can clone a moveset and then do some different things. Like, for example, like, if we do a spooky guy, we can give him Kane's moveset, but his finisher doesn't have to be the Tombstone Pile Driver. It can be something else. Yeah, Dean Malenko would be a good one. He's definitely old school there. Yeah, exactly. Oh, he tried to powerbomb him. Yeah, exactly. We can just do some minor changes and that's it. Yeah. So that's probably what we'll do. Because really the look thing and the name thing is the Kid Crusher there. I don't know if the Man's in the game. We can look through the roster when we get it going. Oh, he converted to a Boston Crab after. Give up. Give up. Give up. Yeah, no, I figure. Man, it must have been a weird period for his career then. Because, see, I don't think he was in WCW during that time. He must have been, like, in recovery or something, because I think he had a relapse right during the real Man's Man angle he did.
10 minutes gone.
Hurricanrana.
1, 2.
Man's Man was it was definitely during Attitude Era. He came back like a little bit before Invasion as more of his traditional like style. Like the Man's Man thing was really short. It did not last long at all because he still was dealing with a lot of like addiction issues. Oh, once again. Oh, wheelbarrow suplex.
Break.
There, fireman's neck breaker. Kid Crusher. I don't think so. I mean, you can look through all the promotion profiles in the Campy Discord, because I have all the pay-per-views listed for all the promotions there. So you'll be able to see, but I don't think Insurrection's been used yet. Yeah, I gotta transfer all of them over to the TWN section and put SWA there. Yeah, it's a medium move. It's a creative move. I have it in there. I usually have a policy of not using creative moves in the small medium front grapple sections for front grapples and back grapples, but there's certain moves that I let slide. Oh, Kidman taps out to the deathlock. Man, this model of Sting is like so good. Awesome match. And I'll get, let's see. Yeah, really solid. Next one is Malenko versus Lance Storm. Try to firebomb me. Yeah, I know. Like, I saw someone made it, but they made it a medium grapple. It kind of bummed me out because I was like, because this needs to be like a signature move, but you know, it was the only one, and I knew he needed to have that move in his moveset. So there are certain small, medium, like creative moves I will have in there, especially if it's like a wrestler I downloaded that already had them to begin with, and I was just converting them over. But I've been trying to like empty out this like creative moves that go to areas that aren't necessary, so to make space for other stuff. Because when I port over a wrestler, I want to be able to get the most accurate moveset as possible without like making them too unbalanced in some ways, and also fitting a style. All right, let's get this one going here. But yeah, we can look through the roster, because we definitely can clone movesets and we can adjust it. Look and name can be a little tricky, but we can certainly. But like I said, I uploaded some profiles and names in the Fire Pro Discord to kind of brainstorm a little bit. None of them we can go with, of course, but it might get us thinking about certain things. The Iceman, yes. Man of 1,000 hosts, but according to Jericho, he knows 4 more than him, so.
Fight!
Yeah, man of 1,000. Oh yeah. I mean, he really was really solid. Did a lot of good work. Like, he definitely could have been, like, it's crazy when you watch the undercard, it's crazy how many guys could have been the next big ones for that promotion, and WCW just wouldn't have any of it. Because if you watch Reliving the War, like, it becomes very apparent that the main event guys, the upper guys, the match quality with them is not nearly as consistently good as the lower middle card. Like, it's insane. Like, and a lot of it is also because so many of the big names up there are old school guys like Hogan and Piper that wrestle like it's still 1986. You know.
Give up.
Let's go do his Tiger Suplex backbreaker off. I haven't seen that. I have seen him do a top rope gut buster. I know he does that move quite a bit, but I haven't seen that.
Give up. Give up.
Yeah, the US title like area. I mean, it had a little bit more good matches as opposed to the tag and the world title during that time. But the guys who were occupying the U.S. title were still guys who were still the upper card that weren't really doing like anything huge. I mean, a lot of guys in that card did wrestle frequently. They weren't like just sitting on their contract and using control, but it wasn't anything to write home about because for some reason they just refused to do any like solid decisions in a match. There always has to be a DQ finish or some fuckery. Like, they couldn't just pick a guy and just stick with it and just make a decision.
Give up. Give up.
Okay, and that's something I will give to WWF at the time. They did a lot of fuckery too, but when shit came to shit, they did pick a guy and they they made it happen. And I think that's what, and that to me, Texas Golden Relief, and to me that's what really really won them in the end of it, despite all the other stuff WCW did to shoot themselves in the foot. I think the biggest thing they just did is that they just did not want to like, they just were so afraid of being predictable that they keep giving people stuff nobody wanted. Yeah, it is insane. Like that WrestleMania Night 1. Like Rhea Ripley. I never seen anyone before do like a second or top rope pump handle drop like that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Big head scissors whip. So that was. I have to say, like, I think in terms of match quality, I think Night 1 was better. Mostly because Night 1 felt very energetic. Like, it felt like all the matches outside of the Cena Theory match were, like, super, like, high energy. Like, everyone was just going. Night 2 felt a lot slower to me. Like, everything felt very, like... It just didn't feel as fast.
Give up. Give up. Give up.
10 minutes gone.
Yeah, exactly, you know, it just... Well, the thing is, I don't know if, like, I don't know, because I know one night had an extra match over the other. I don't know which one was which. I think it was the first night, which makes sense why they would be fast, because they had a little bit less time to work with. Cross-body attack is to recover.
2, 3.
Oh, Malenko with the win. $73. Okay. Yes. Big one right there. Next match is Terry Funk versus Darby Allin. But yeah, I was after night 2, I'm not gonna lie, like I think that's the first time I got truly like just like done in a wrestling event. Like I'm not gonna lie, I really was like I wasn't like fuming because I knew there was a chance that Roman could retain, but after seeing the Usos lose, I just saw that as writing as the wall that it was time for a big shift, and it's just like I just couldn't fathom like them doing more like stuff with them, but I don't know. I mean, I can see what they could do with it, and it would probably be decent. But man, it's so hard for me to fathom like them stretching it out this much more. It just feels insane to me that they would go this long with it, because think about it in perspective, like one of the greatest storylines ever, the NWO storyline, that in itself lasted from like 96 to let's say like 2000. That was 4 years. And during that time, yeah, you could argue that the story itself isn't as polished as the Bloodline story because of the stable bloating and all that, but you could also argue that it's a really good compare and contrast with that. Yeah, exactly. Like it felt unpredictable, and I feel like with wrestling, like the best thing you can be in wrestling is unpredictable. That's why when Money in the Bank came out, it was over so big. That's why stuff like the RKO is so big, because a lot of the magic in wrestling is unpredictability, not knowing like what's gonna happen. And I feel like Roman Reigns. This is from day one. Them making the gimmick tied around him never losing, I think, was the biggest mistake they could make. Because, one, it couldn't allow rivals to develop, because you can't really have rivals if you beat them non-stop. You know, it doesn't feel right. Even with RVD and Jerry Lynn, like, I don't know, like, the match record, but I'm sure Jerry Lynn did beat RVD in some non-title or tag matches every once in a while during his chase for his TV belt. Like, he didn't lose legit all the time against him. He must have won a few times in other instances, of course. And that's the thing, it's not like I'm against, like, rivalries being one-sided. It's just you gotta know when to, like, pull the trigger. You know? And for me, like, if it gets... Oh, wow, okay, well...
Give up?
Alright, yeah, I mean, that could be a little bit of an issue there. Same thing with Raven and Dreamer. Yeah, exactly, that's the thing, though. Like, Reigns, he's had some good matches with the belt, but not a reasonable, like, 3 to 4 years worth of good matches for that belt. Okay, see, but that's the thing, though. It wasn't overblown. That's the thing. Like, that's the thing about Reigns having the belts this long, is that it worked better back in the day because, like, because there wasn't, like, 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown and NXT, and, like, monthly pay-per-views. You had, like, 1 to 4 pay-per-views during that era. And then you had some TV shows, but it was like lower card shit. It wasn't anything major, you know, like maybe main event they had a few times, but that was it. You know, so so while he was a champion for 4 years, the amount of stuff that was actually shown of it was smaller. But with this, 4 years is legit 4 years. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of feel like that. Oh wow, code red on the concrete. I don't know. I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, I just feel like with all that said and done, with what was done with the character, with the whole story arc and everything, I just feel like WWE expecting to stretch the story out to SummerSlam, if not WrestleMania 40. It just, oh, another missed one there. It doesn't feel earned to me. And I get there might be reasons to it. I get what they're trying to do and everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just to me, it's like, and that's the thing too. It's like, and if you look about it, like during the NWL era or Evolution, like the Reign of Terror, even Triple H and Goldberg, through their long ass reigns, even they lost the belt every once in a while to somebody. You know, even even they knew back then that you have to keep up the era of unpredictability. If you just have somebody win non-stop no matter what. Oh, lands the drop. Oh, gets the win. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like to me, you need that. You can't have someone be, for me, like, I'm not against a long-term champion, but it's specific circumstances. Like, for example, MJF, for example, if he had on to the belt for like a yearish or whatever, I would be okay with it, because one, he can wrestle, like, he's a very good wrestler, and he's an excellent talker. I mean, he's one of the best kayfabe keeping wrestlers I've ever seen in this generation. Like, outside of maybe Danhausen, but that's a different situation. 82 solid number there. Allen getting the win. GSW with a little bit of credits for that. Yeah. CM Punk shows up. Oh, if CM Punk beats Reigns, that's going to be insane, but I doubt they'll do that. I mean, CM Punk, I don't know. He's too controversial at this point. It's a shame, because he was on fire when he first came back, but he's just he's just too much drama. You know, because Triple H isn't gonna, even if it's good for business, I mean, you don't want that cancer in the locker room. You already had to go through the Vince and creative fiasco. You know? I mean, correction. I mean, a lot of the drama probably also came from Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. I don't know how much of it actually was from CM Punk. You know? That might... I'm not sure. It's a confusing endeavor, but there's just a lot tied to him. I don't know. I know he said something very recently. I didn't really look into it because it just was a lot of words, and I just didn't have the attention span for it. But yeah, I don't know if Punk would. I don't know the likelihood of Punk return. I know AEW was going to try to do something, but then he said something to the media and it just kind of rubbed them the wrong way again. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like... that if Punk's going to come back to any company, he's going to have to... He's gonna have to be aware that I don't know. I mean, because it's hard to really, you can't really be critical of him. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you gotta be careful what you see too. Like, I see a lot of shit, and I just repeat it, but I don't know if it's true or not. Like, I see people say, oh, they're going to wait till WrestleMania 40 to do all that stuff, for example. I don't know if any of that's true. For all I know, it could just be a bunch of horse shit. They may have him drop it at SummerSlam. Or who knows, maybe Sami Zayn wins Money in the Bank and he catches it on Roman after Cody, you know, fights another match with him and he wins it. I don't know. Anything can happen in wrestling. That's the point of it. Like, that's the thing, too. Like, that's why, like, fan booking... and all these advanced plans and stuff, it kills wrestling in my opinion, because dream booking's one thing, But when it gets to a point where companies are like, okay, well, since it's our big show, we gotta keep it on until then, it kind of, yeah, exactly. It's all bullshit. It's fun to see, but it's bullshit. Exactly. And that's the thing too. Like you could, I mean, I say that they'll do that stuff with Roman, but who knows? I mean, they could have him lose at any pay-per-view at any time if they so chose. So. But to me, it's like, if this was any other title reign, then sure. But this is something you spend a cajillion dollars building up as the biggest thing ever. I mean, how much of it do you want to use on a weekly TV show or a sub pay-per-view? Saudi Arabia, God. I don't know if it'll happen in Saudi Arabia, to be honest. Just because I feel like that might rub too many people the wrong way. Because I don't know, it's a kind of a gamble. I would almost rather, to me, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think at this point, if it wasn't yesterday, WrestleMania the last weekend, it's either going to be SummerSlam or WrestleMania 40. And God help us if it's WrestleMania 40. Well, that's the thing, like, I will say this. I will say this about the switch with Sammy, like, because if they were gonna ignore what pay-per-view was and go with the pure storytelling aspect, they should have had Sammy win an Elimination Chamber. But they didn't. You know? And you know what? And that's okay, because you had Cody as the backup for WrestleMania, and that works too. Because there's a good, decent story there. It could have been better with the proper build-up, but it still was decent. But yeah, but like I said, I ranted so bad in Discord last night about it. Oh my god, I was fuming. Yeah, exactly. Like what do you do now? The Cody story can be salvageable with proper build-up. Like, you know, redemption and whatever, but here's the thing though, and I can understand this argument too, even though Sammy and Roman, even though Roman's the big guy of the whole thing, you could argue that Sammy has more personal history and animosity against Jay. And that rivalry can make more sense than him against Roman because of that personal animosity, because Jay was so against Sammy coming in and then became his biggest friend, and then the breakup and everything. You could argue that could work too, and it did. I think it did. But, and who knows, maybe it'd be a rivalry in the future, because I firmly believe, not that they lost the belts, I think the Usos are going to become singles guys. I do not think they're going to stay a tag team after that, because what else are they going to do? They're multi-time tag team winners. They had the longest reign ever as a tag team for both show belts. And, I mean, the only thing they have left to really try for is singles. And the storyline did a good job of making the Usos apart. Like, Jay has a distinct personality, and much more than was prior. Same thing with Jimmy. So I feel like they could function as single guys. I mean, I think a Sami Zayn Jay Uso feud in a singles capacity would be pretty decent after all that. I think Jimmy can work. I think the key with both of them is that they're gonna have to, they gotta do things that stick with them, and they gotta become more unique individuals. But the storyline did a good job of that because of Sami Zayn. Like, Sami Zayn saved the storyline. If it wasn't for Sami Zayn in the storyline, like, it would be done already. Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think it'd be easier to picture once Roman's done and he's kind of part-timer or semi-retired. Because if you want to further develop that tag team, you need to like make room for that. And the Usos have had their time there, especially after all that. You know, New Day are kind of done too. They're just kind of, you know, floating around too. So yeah, I think it's time for. I think it was. I just thank God they dropped the tag belts. To me, that's a good sign that they are starting to wind things down. They're just going to take their sweet-ass time with it. Which is not a decision I would have personally made, but, you know, but I'm not the booker, you know, Triple H is, or whatever. And for the most part, I've agreed with a lot of Triple H decisions, but this one with this is something I just don't understand it. I mean, I'm sure there's financial reasons and all that, but to me, I don't get it. Like, it was so set up so perfectly, but the way I feel about it is, they probably not the biggest reasons, but I feel like some of the reasons why was, one, they want to give him to 1,000, because he wasn't quite going to be to 1,000 with this. And also, you know, thinking ahead, they probably thought, oh, him dropping at WrestleMania 40 instead of 39? Yes. You know, that's what I figure. I think they wanted to just sweeten it just a little bit more. But, I don't know, it's just, I mean, I haven't been a wrestling fan my whole life, but I've been a wrestling fan for a few years, and I've been, like, super compulsive about it. And reading about everything, watching everything, and everything. And the one thing I've noticed is that it is, like, so tough to do a wrestling storyline from beginning to end and have it be solid. Like, it seems like the biggest challenge in wrestling is having a storyline actually end well and decent. And I just feel like the longer they stretch it out, the more and more likely it's gonna end on a note that everyone just hates. And when it's so tough to do that, when you're given that bull-wrapped opportunity to have it end on a good, solid note, I mean, it's a gamble, and I don't think they made the right decision, Dominator. Because who knows what will happen? They could have this huge thing planned with Cody, then he gets hurt again. So what do? Do they do Sami Zayn again? Do they try to ramp that up again? Or do they try somebody else? I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like that I just don't know what their end game is with everything. Like, I just don't know what sense it makes anymore. Like, because before all this, like, it kind of made sense. I could kind of understand what they were going for. But now it's like, I don't know. Yeah, just have Lesnar beat him for the in their fourth match. You know, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like after all this, if it ends in an anticlimactic way, it's gonna be one of the biggest wastes of time ever. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's the thing. Like, this would be the perfect thing for Cody, because Cody can be a top guy, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that's easy to forget, too, because this whole thing started when Vince was in charge. Like, Triple H inherited this story. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, for example, McIntyre, he's not going to be challenging for that belt again. I will say this, I think the one positive of this whole thing is that it's made the mid-card titles super relevant again, which I love. Like, the IC and the US titles are super relevant, especially the IC. But at the same time, you have...
20 minutes gone.
But here's the thing, though. Like, and I think it's great, but a good majority of those guys are only in those places because they challenged for Roman and they didn't get it. See for eternity. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think glorious DDT goes for a cover.
1, 2.
Yeah, and here's the difference. But here's the difference between his run with the title and Reigns. I feel like Walter's just, I mean, Gunther, I keep calling him Walter because that's what I know him for. but he's just a better wrestler. Because here's the thing with Roman. I don't think Roman's a terrible wrestler at all, but not 4 years worth of title matches worth. Like, for me, like, if you're gonna have a wrestler be a champion that long with all those matches, it has to be somebody that's like a savant with wrestling. And Reigns is not it. Moveset of all time. I don't hate his moveset, but it's like, but he's not a guy that I just, I don't know. If they did the Bloodline story without it tied to the belts, I think they would have been a lot better off. Well, that's the thing, and it's gonna happen because Reigns is not gonna main event Backlash or Money in the Bank or King of the Ring. He's not gonna do it because, oh, Beer Money gets the win.
Watch your money and your alcohol.
'98, wow. Great match between these two. Next, we got Mikey Whipwreck against Crash Holly in some cruiserweight action. I don't know. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's not going to main event like Backlash or anything like that because here's the thing. Like if he doesn't drop at WrestleMania, then he's going to hold it to SummerSlam. He's not going to drop it at SummerSlam. He's going to hold it to the next WrestleMania because he's not even the golden goose. He's like the god goose at this point for them, and it's so big now that dropping it at any time, it would be weird end to the whole story. You know, it's too big, and I don't know. I could be wrong. They may decide, fuck it, we're gonna nuke it, and he's gonna drop it on Raw or King of the Ring. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the thing. Too. The guys who've been champion as long or longer than Cody has were baby faces. And other than the reasons I previously mentioned about like just like wrestling not being overexposed, so it didn't feel as exhausting watching like guys win. A lot of those guys, you know, everyone wanted to see them win because they were good guys. You know, but when you have a bad guy win all the time for 4 years and just non-stop, and all the guys who go against them just lose non-stop, it gets old fast. I mean, who wants to see that shit anymore?
2, 3,
but the thing is, he's way better as a heel,
5,
and that's the thing. This gimmick's great for him.
7,
It just sucks that it's tied to the belts, because in all honesty, if it wasn't tied to the belts, then they could have him, if he lost once as this gimmick, the title once as a gimmick, even if it was early on, if he lost the belt, and then regained it, and then went on this run, that'd be one thing. But to just be like, oh yeah, he just won these belts, and he just didn't lose ever again, and yeah, because the only guy that's an authority figure is like Adam Silver, or who? No, not Adam Silver. Like somebody, a bald guy with glasses. I forgot his name. He's like, yeah, exactly. You think at some point somebody like, hey, we should probably cut this shit out. Yeah, exactly. It's just old. Like, here's the thing: if they did this whole, if the Bloodline story started like a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have a problem with this at all. But they've been doing the same title match with all these guys that he's gone against for 3 to 4 fucking years. I mean, at what point does it get, at one point is it time to maybe like change it up a little bit?
5 minutes gone.
Yeah, I remember he was solid too. Oh, Whippersnapper goes for a cover. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was real. Yeah, he's not bad. It's just I don't know. I'm just kind of ready. It's just, to me, this whole, after that night, I feel like all the fun of that storyline was just zapped away. Another Whippersnapper. Now they have to start all the way over again, and I'm not looking forward to it because. Like I said, it's been 3 to 4 years. I mean, how long do you want this guy as a champion?
Give up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, exactly. He would have confronted him and then chopped him, like he did with Vader. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. Does this big return, does some punches in the corner, then just dies out. It was so blinking and miss, because I looked away for a second and he was just gone. I'm just like, where the fuck Shane went? And then fucking Snoop did the, and then Snoop Dogg just. Snoop Dogg. Oh, elbow drop off the counter. Yeah, like, and then he did the freaking oh, Whip Rack wins with the sharpshooter. Yeah, and then Snoop wins that match with the freaking Def Jam elbow, or the Vendetta elbow, whatever you want to call it. The new streak. I got an 81 decent match there. Crash Holly upset that he got countered because he allegedly weighs well over 400 pounds. Next one, China versus Steve Williams. I don't know, I guess for me, it's at a point where I just don't really... And here's the thing, I'm all for the tag titles and the main belt being one belt. I'm not for the idea of splitting them up. But at the same time, like... I don't know, I'm just not... That's the thing, like, Roman in this gimmick is... Like I said, Roman in this gimmick is good. He's not 4 years good. You know, that's the thing. It's like that really good, like, it's like your favorite dessert, but you keep getting, it's like let's say yeah, it's like your favorite dessert, but you keep getting it fed it for 4 years. At some point you want something else. Like, even with, because the good parts of the Bloodline story was the beginning, and then the Zayn stuff. Everything else has been crap. And the reason why it wasn't crap in the middle is because of Zayn. If Zayn wasn't there, this would have fell apart a long time ago. I mean, it's easy to forget. People were legit, like, I remember people were booing, like, everything until Zayn showed up and started getting involved. Like, because I think after Roman won the WWE title, I remember that's when people started to get pissed. Before Zayn started getting involved. Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, you could argue that's great heel work. And I get it. I mean, but here's the thing, it's one thing to hate a wrestler because you think he's a dick. It's another thing to hate a wrestler because because he's held on for the belt for so goddamn long that you just get sick of seeing him like that. No, they didn't. And that's the thing. Like I said, if they didn't care about the pay-per-views at all, Zayn would have won it, because that was the right moment. Like, wrestling, and WWE says this more than any other promotion ever. They're all about the moments. You know, they may not always deliver the best matches, and the storylines can be crap, or the wrestlers can't act or can barely wrestle, but when shit comes to shit, they're all about those moments. They won them the Monday Night War for delivering on those moments. I mean, the moments matter. And on the biggest stage, during all that time with him champion, you decide, you know what, we need another 6 months to a year more of this shit. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just don't get it. Like, because what they had would not be, it's not, what they're going to have after is not going to be as good as what they have. They're going to have to get a combination of lucky and consistent to get to what they were in that 3-month span between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And that's the thing. And like I said, if this whole thing was like a year and a half in, and they did the swerve, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But they've been doing those swerves since day one with Roman. Like, it's been the same story for 4 years with each title match, for the most part. And I'm sorry, it's old. I don't think Roman Reigns needed another finger poke of doom win. Because that's what it's starting to feel like at this point. It's starting to feel like, well, you think you're going to get Nash versus Hogan? Well, too bad. It's kind of like that episode of American Dad. It's a B plot. Where Steve and his gang, they're doing a roast. And the idea is that they let it tenderize so it's super soft and super good. But it goes on for like hours, and then the gang mentions it, and Steve's like, no, wait to open it, we gotta wait to eat it, we gotta let it tenderize more. And then it turns into days, weeks, and then a month. And then they finally eat it, and the food's goddamn spoiled, and they have to go to the hospital. That's what it feels like to me. Like at some point, you wait too long, and then it's not good anymore. Like, these kind of stories have a shelf life. And here's the thing, me talking about it being pissed off right now, that could have been the main goal. I could be, like, doing exactly what they wanted, but my only issue with it is that people were already doing that with all these Reigns, like, things. That's my biggest issue of the whole thing, is that it's nothing new. And I know they didn't outright say there was going to be anything new, but I feel like if you have the Usos lose like that, I feel like you're pretty much saying change is going to happen. And when it doesn't, then it just feels like you're backtracking. It feels like you don't have, I don't know. We're in Power Slam, let's see if it's enough. Man, I did not anticipate getting so fired up about that goddamn match.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It has to be. I'm surprised they interfered, to be honest, after losing. Yeah, it has to be. I think Jay will be the first one to go. And then I feel like after a bit, I feel like Jimmy's gonna leave because of all that. And I feel like, you know, it's weird. It's funny you mention that. It's mentioned because I remember reading an article a while back that the whole story is really about Jay versus Roman. And it's like, wouldn't it be funny, like if Jay's the one to take the belts off Roman after all that. That'd be something. And I could get behind that. But do you really need 3 to 4 years for that story? Like, that's my huge problem with this whole arc, is that all these decisions they made, it doesn't justify him being champion 3 to 4 years. It just doesn't. And I can forgive it a little bit because Vince McMahon was in charge at the beginning. So I can understand how fucky you can get to navigate through that crap. Yeah, exactly. And I can live with that. But, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, whatever they do now is going to have an asterisk for me. Because no matter what they do, all I'll be thinking is, man, wouldn't this feel so much better if, like, Sammy or Cody won? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like it doesn't make. That match does not make me feel good. Oh, murder backdrop. Vicious. That match does not make me feel good about the future of the main event picture. It just makes me feel like, well, you might as well not even have those belts anymore. Because, like, well, you might as well... Oh, nice move right there by China. You might as well just say, well, we don't have a world title. It's just the Roman Reigns Championship.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I mean, thank God the tag titles are out, because you might as well have just deleted the tag team division if the Usos were just going to keep them.
1, 2.
And I think they did have them drop those belts, because I think even they knew that having Cody lose was a big gamble after all that. So I think even WWE kind of low-key kind of recognizes that they're really pushing it with Reigns retaining after all that. But I don't know. I don't know. It's, oh, nice lariat right there from Steve Williams. This has actually been a really good match from China and Williams. They really work well off each other. Same guys keep reporting. Looks like the chat kind of came up a little bit right there. Oh, Dr. Bomb.
2, 3.
Oh, Steve with the win with the Dr. Bomb. Gut wrench power bomb with the sit out. Vicious move. 90. Awesome. These two work well off each other. Yeah, I might have to think about it. I'm not going to have any rivalries kickstart on this show because I kind of want everything contained within the season. But this is something I might revisit again in the future. Next one should be a good one. Andre the Giant versus Ming. But that's the thing too, like, that's the other negative about that whole main event thing, is that outside of that main event, the whole card was for the most part really solid. Like, there wasn't really a lot of bad matches on the card at all, and a lot of guys put their, like, heart into those matches, but, you know, how many people are talking about those matches? And I'm not saying we would have talked... I will say, I don't think we would talk about the main event as much as Cody won as opposed to Roman losing. Roman winning. I will say that, but I also feel like... I feel like they sacrificed a lot of product just to say, oh, Roman's gonna be the biggest ever with these records of reigns and stuff. It just feels like... I feel like they just sacrificed a lot for not a lot of turnaround. I think so, to be honest. I think it's a good thing to end. I did hear that Edge was going to be, actually retiring pretty soon, within the year, I think. So I think it's the right time to kind of end it. To be honest, I actually don't. I feel like they got lucky with that stable because that stable was looking like it was gonna be utter crap. But Rhea and to a reasonable but not as big an extent Dominic, those two really turned that stable around, and now I feel it's relevant. But I'm sorry, but a stable without belt chasing just doesn't feel very strong. I think if they're going to become a relevant stable, they have to. I mean, they got one now. I mean, Rhea has the women's title, so they got that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I would rather have that. I mean, yeah, it would mean less conversation about it, but I'd rather talk a little bit about something great than rant an inch away from a heart attack about something I don't like. I don't know. I noticed DPS has kind of quieted out a little bit. I almost feel like I've almost ranted too much on it. Oh my god. Well, that's the thing too. I would have been okay with it. And here's the thing. Before this, I did hear that once Roman does lose the belts, he's pretty much done with wrestling, which to me made sense why they were having him hold on to it for so long, because this is it for him. So I can be forgiving of that, but even I have a shelf life with that. Like, I'm sorry, but I like Roman. I don't have a problem with him at all as a wrestler or anything, and I think his Tribal Chief gimmick is the best gimmick he's ever had, but none of that stuff is 3 to 4 years worth of good. Like, that, it only lasted that long because of luck. They got lucky with Zayn. Zayn is definitely the MVP of the year, you know? He made all of that work. Oh, thrust kick. Big counter.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, he's trying to slam him.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
1,
Oh, that's tough. That is so tough.
3.
I don't know. You know, that's why I booked together. I'm just like, who would win?
5 minutes gone.
I don't know. You know what? I keep forgetting these guys were on a tag team. I always forget that these guys were a tag team.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That does give me an idea for a new stable, though. I got so many goddamn stables in my thing.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah, sit out bomb. Yeah, I have also been thinking about adding another belt to my promotion. I think I got the roster for it at this point, but I gotta think about it. I will say too that I do kind of wish that they would bring back like lower card belts, like a European or Hardcore Championship. I know they just got rid of the 24/7 title, but I feel like even though the roster isn't that big, I feel like there's only so many good storylines you can do in wrestling without a title involved, especially when you're a lower card. I feel like having a lower card title for those guys that are just not really doing anything, I feel like that would add a lot of potential story stuff right there. Oh, main tabs. Vicious was just coming down. Yeah, exactly. Like even if you rank interference high, it only really works if you got guys in the group that aren't in the match. If you barely got anybody, you're not really gonna see it. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like... Alright, that got 63. That one... Yeah, that makes sense. Andre's just tough. Alright, next is for the Overlord title. Fit Finlay is being challenged by Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, exactly. Like, I would like to see that. Like, especially if we're not gonna see like the actual big belts be used in any capacity anytime soon. You might as well add a little extra. I will say though, like, if they're gonna wait that long, and if it's not gonna be Cody or Zayn to challenge Reigns for the belt, they might as well bring up an NXT guy like Braun Breaker, and maybe have him be the guy. That's the way I feel about it, because if you're not gonna have Cody or Zayn do it, then you might as well just have someone from NXT who's ready to be up there and do shit do it. You know, if there's not someone on the main roster already that could be credible. Braun versus a heel Austin Theory. That would be decent. I think, but I don't know if I would want to wait till next Mania for that. I feel like, I don't know. I could see that being a good SummerSlam match, but I don't know what they're going to do. It could work for Mania if they decide to go that route. I don't know. Like, let's see, where's Guerrero? Right there. Yeah, you would think, like, him and Gunther, like, would, personally, my personal favorite match of the whole pay-per-view, I think, might have been that triple threat match. But I also love that, I actually love that Charlotte Rhea Ripley match a lot more than I thought I would. The tag match for the tag titles, I like that a lot too. Really, the only matches, I didn't like the opening matches. I thought Theory and Cena could have been done on Raw. Same thing with Omos and Lesnar. Those two just didn't feel like anything. And I thought the women's Fatal 4-Way tag match, I thought that was very slow and not really appealing. I thought the men's one was a lot better in that regard. But outside of that, I mean, I thought all the matches were good. I just really disagreed with the ending of Cody and Reigns. You didn't like either. I liked the men's a little bit. I thought the men's had a lot of high energy, even though it was a little bit short. But I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah. But yeah, when I started, because I started watching like WWE pay-per-views actively at the Royal Rumble, because I started getting invested with like everything. Smoking mirror. But that's just...
Viva Mexico!
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just. It's hard for me to even maintain a sane thought about it now, because I'm just so like I don't know. I just feel done. You know, I just feel like that kind of ending's the type of ending that makes me not want to watch the other stuff. Because to me, it's like, despite what they put on, I'm just gonna keep thinking in the back of my head, like, you had the perfect opportunity to conclude this like really solid storyline, and you blew it for some stats. Yeah, false finish restart. Well, yeah, I mean, his first run in WWE definitely wasn't good at all. Like that, it just proves the saying, like, the best thing you can do as a wrestler is leave and come back. Because when you leave and come back, and you're successful when you're gone, it pretty much gives you like a lot of power in that company, because you know that if you need to leave and be good somewhere else, you can. You don't have to rely on them for a safety net. You have control. Yeah, that was kind of fun. I mean, but yeah, I don't know, like, I guess, I don't know, I just, that, the whole ending just made me feel so cynical, like, you know, and that's the thing, Elimination Chamber, even with Sammy lost, like, I didn't feel cynical, you know, I felt like, yeah, it sucked that he lost, but I get it, you know, and I could live with it, but, I don't know, it just, it's hard to, like, let stuff go like this when you know how wrestling works, like, in the inside. At least have a rough idea. Not like for specifics, but have a rough idea. When you're just a casual fan, then I don't, oh, look at this, oh, look at that.
3, 4,
Fan, I feel like it could vary, but when you really know what goes on, it really makes you realize, oh wow, this is not going anywhere even after all this time. I don't know, and that's the thing. There's just so many reasons why I just don't like it.
5 minutes gone.
Yeah, exactly. Frog splash there. But yeah, we'll just have to see how things go, especially with tonight on Raw.
Give up. Give up.
Who knows what will happen? I mean, who knows? Like, months down the line, they could pull together some awesome shit, and I could be eating my words from now. But I don't know. On him not winning, I will say this. I don't think it's the end of his character. I still feel like if they really wanted to, they could still... Oh, Eddie with the win. Eddie wins the Overlord title.
Viva Mexico!
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think Cody will be okay if they still decide... Okay, I do think that you can have him... I think he can still, like, go for the belt. I think there's a story there. You could argue it's a better story than he was coming in, because as long as he doesn't get hurt, everyone expected him to win. And I get what you're saying. I get that. I get what you're saying. It was very, like, and like I said, if Reigns only had the belt for a year and a half and they did this, or a year even, I would have been okay with it. I thought it would have been great. My biggest problem with them doing that is that the guy's held the belt for 4 years, and he's not 4 years good. And the storyline, what made the storyline great wasn't Roman, it was Zayn. Zayn made the story good. Roman was just doing his best. But he didn't carry the storyline. Zayn did. And they went with Cody. And I was okay with that, because they did a decent job with everything, all things considered. But it's hard for me to, like, admire that kind of effort when it's towards something that's long overdue to be done. Yeah, and that's the thing. If that's our long-term plan, is for him to win it, but to go through a lot of fuckery and everything, I get it. But it's like I've already seen them do that with so many other guys for years, you know. And yeah, it could happen, and we could all be happy. But it's a very, very, very huge gamble because, like I said, like from what I've seen, the longer a wrestling storyline goes, the more and more likely it's not going to have a really good ending. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true about the Horsemen and all that. I agree. I guess for me, stuff from back then kind of gets a huge pass because, like I said, wrestling wasn't overexposed like it is nowadays. Things tongue tie 89. When he was little. Yeah, exactly. Cause here you can't have that match with Roman as champion because if he's champion when that match happens, you automatically know Roman's gonna win. He's not. That's the problem. You know, if you're gonna have a match like that, it has to be with no belts involved. Well, if they have a match at SummerSlam, well then he's not dropping it till Mania, so we got another year of like no main event belt action. I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. All right, let's see next match here. This semi-main spot, IGW tag titles will be up for grabs here. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, here's the thing. With the way they've been talking and stuff, like, I think, and because Cody returned at SummerSlam, I understand that they would want him to win at SummerSlam. Well, keep in mind, I do plan on streaming again tonight, the No Mercy Creative Wrestler stream, so there will be a lot more stream action. I'm just gonna have to take a slight break to set things up. Yeah, Fatu from MLW. Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Alright, Vicious and Delicious of the NWO being challenged by Abyss and Doink of the Brood. Those belts. See how this goes. But yeah, I do plan on streaming more tonight. Just a slight break in between. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's hard. Like I said, even though I know, like, I've been in wrestling for a bit, and I know I've been digging a lot into that, I still wouldn't consider myself 1,000,000% wrestling expert in everything. But when you compare examples of long-ass title reigns to, like, guys from back in the day, like I said, it was different then. And stuff could be longer like that because wrestling wasn't overexposed, and I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like longer title reigns nowadays just doesn't feel the same. And I don't know. It's a lot of factors of why I don't like the decision. There's a lot overall. But I think my biggest one, I think the biggest reason that I can say without flubbering over my words is that they had an opportunity to end things great, and they chose not to. They chose to wait it out and stretch it out, and I feel like that it's just going to make the odds better for the story to end on a whimper. And I think after all that work and effort for it to become a whimper, I think would just feel like the biggest stab in the back and waste of time ever. That's the thing I'm pissed off more about, is that they just increased the possibility that it's going to end like shit. That's what I don't like about it, is that they just increased the odds just to say, oh, Roman was champion over for 1,000 days. Oh, we're going to have a main event WrestleMania 40. You know, just that shit. It's not worth the gamble, in my opinion. But you never know. None of that shit could happen. You never know. So, what do I know? Like DPS said, I could just be a mark.
Give up.
But yeah, this pay-per-view has actually been really, really, really solid. Those can drop it. Oh man, I almost wore down my throat talking about that for the last hour and a half-ish. Good lord. Yeah, it's the first time I've ever been that upsettedly passionate about a booking decision at a wrestling event. Yeah, I just remember just after that happened, my first thought was, what more can you do than this? Like, what else is there? I mean, in hindsight, of course there's more they could do. I guess the question is, will it be worth it? And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it will be worth it. It's going to be tough to make it worth it. I mean, they had 3 to 4 years to make it worth it. And they had it right there, but they decided it wasn't enough. So now they're going to try to stretch it out and see if they can do something even more. But the longer they do it, the more likely... Because here's the thing, what if Roman gets hurt? You know, or something like that. And that's the biggest reason why they don't have him wrestle any matches, because they want him to be healthy for the pay-per-views. So, like I said, it's just like... The more and more I really think about it, because I didn't really have much of a thought about it prior, but after seeing this, and really thinking about it, I realized that I'm just not a fan of long-ass title reigns. And by long reigns, I don't mean like stuff like a year and a half-ish or something like that. I mean like frickin' 3 to 4 years, like old school NWA territory days where you had one guy be champion for eons. But it worked then, for various reasons, but I just don't think it works now. That's my opinion. Some people may disagree. Yeah, I think that's the most you can do. Well, that's the thing, like, for me, it's like, I think it depends, there's a lot of factors in how long a guy should keep a belt. Like, I do think there are some guys in certain predicaments that can hold the belt for a long period of time. But I guess for me, it's like I said, if you lose the element of surprise, then you've gone too far. Oh, nice boot to Bagwell outside the ring. Yeah, I mean, she could lose it at SummerSlam. I will say this, like, I do think... And I think what bothers me most about this long-ass title reign is that, with Roman, is that even despite a great, like, gimmick, and he's a good wrestler, he's not the best guy in the world. Like, MJF, when he says he's the best in the world, I legit believe it. Not because he said it, but because he puts in the work and the effort to be the best. You know, and I'm not saying Roman doesn't put in work, but to me, Roman is great as one of the guys, but I can never see him as the guy. Yeah, exactly, you know? Like, Roman's only good because the gimmick made him good. If it wasn't for the gimmick, it'd still be like the PG, the flash breaker. Oh, big chair shot. Even though this is technically a heel versus heel match, they're very different heels here. Oh, double arm DDT. Yeah, like, there's a lot of moves that can do that. It's all about, like, timing and where they're at in the ring. Yeah, NWO's kind of like organized crime heels. The Brood is just like spooky supernatural heels. Yeah, Abyss is definitely the monster of the group. Doink's the clown, and Gangrel is the vampire. Luna's Luna. I do want to add another guy to the group, but that's going to be in the works. It's always cool when a tag team like taunts at the same time. Really adds a little bit extra to it. Here comes Mike Austin to help out his NWO guys. Big powerbomb. NWO retains to a chin lock. Man, like 85 right there. Ugh. Alright, this main event's going to be a big one here. It's a four-way dance for the title. Test will be defending it against Gangrel, Mike Awesome, and Tanaka. Yeah, I mean, I try as I must, but there's just times where the match is going to end on a chin lock. Yeah, it is what it is. I can live with it. Definitely not the worst limitation in the game. Like, to me, the only thing in this game that legit bugs me, even though it does have odd limitations in certain areas, is that stupid belt thing where you have to assign it to a specific match type, and you can't have belts just be defended in all match types. That's the thing that legit bugs me the most in the game by far. Everything else I can live with, but that is the one thing that legit just, like, crawls me. Because of the type of stuff we do, it just kind of it just adds an extra layer. It doesn't make any sense design-wise, because it's like, why have that there? I mean, if you just have them be defendable across all the match types, then you can just have them at any match type. So if you want something that's specific for Landmine, you still can do that, you know? And that's the thing, I get it's based on Japanese wrestling, but at the same time, I'm like, what isn't in Japanese wrestling where you have certain belts and specific match types? Like, I've never heard of that. You know? I mean, I could be wrong, but from from my information I know of, I don't know like a Japanese wrestling promotion like, all right, this belt is only for cage matches only. You know, it just doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Like, it's definitely a design flaw, and if I could change anything in this game, that'd be the one thing. Okay, I can even live with Battle Royale matches being limited to 8, even though it does kind of prevent doing legit Royal Rumbles. But, yeah, and that could be a thing too, and that's probably why they have the match types they do, because they don't do American matches, like, over there really that much. And I can live with that. It's just from a design perspective, when you have a sandbox game like this, why put that limitation there? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't think it ever will, but, you know, it is what it is. I would love to interview the creators of this game and ask them questions like that. Because I would like, because if it is a legit thing in Japan, I'd get it. Even though I wouldn't agree with it, I'd get it. But I just don't get it at all why they would do that. Especially for the kind of stuff we do, it really kind of it kind of puts an extra little twist to things. Belt being a thing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I get it if it was a thing, but if it's not a thing, then why the hell did you put it in the game? Alright, But here's another thing. I'm sorry to keep going back to this, but it's really in my head. It's hard to escape it right now with us doing wrestling stuff. But imagine if Hulk Hogan during the NWO over, imagine if he was never pinned and never lost a match, and he kept that belt on for that entire run. Like would it be better? Probably not. You know, like, and it's not the same storyline. It's definitely different circumstances. And despite Roman having his limitations, I do think Roman Reigns is probably a better wrestler than Hulk Hogan in the ring. That works for me, brother. But at the same time, like, I'm sorry, to me, like, the way they've done it in WWE with Roman, to me, I don't know, like, if I'll definitely cool down from this, but I don't know if I'll ever get to a point again where I'm just perfectly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think Roman is a good wrestler, and he sells for guys. Like, if he gets hit hard with something, he'll sell it. So I do think he's a good wrestler. It's just. Alright, test Awesome Gangrel and Tanaka. 4-weight dance, elimination style for the title. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, exactly. Like, but that's the thing. Like, and long-term build-ups in wrestling can certainly work.
Fight.
And of course, them building up between Sting and Hogan. But that's the thing, like, the build-up between Sting and Hogan to Starrcade, that was a great build-up. But the payoff was shit, because they went too long, in my opinion, with it. You know, well, maybe they didn't go too long, but they didn't prep for it right. Because Sting was out of shape wrestling-wise. Hogan, at that point, was super heel in the ring, so there was barely any moves. And they tried to get cute with that stupid, like, twist at the end with Bret Hart. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying, like, the build, like, waiting that long for one match was bad, but the prep time was bad. And the Roman Reigns story with that, it almost feels like the same thing a little bit.
1, 2.
Yeah, you'd think he would still train, you know, because, I mean, it just seems weird that, in hindsight, it just feels bizarre that they wouldn't have him, maintain wrestling shape during that time. Mystic of Power. So yeah, the green mist.
Give up.
Yeah, in hindsight, because I also heard that Sting was going through some legit tough shit during then, and he was having a tough time in life at that point. So I understand that kind of stuff. And who knows? Maybe they tried to do something with Sting, but he was caught up in shit. But they couldn't do anything about it because they had to keep kayfabe. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that'd be a great match, Gray Man. Tajiri versus Gangrel in a mist off. Wow. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. And here's the thing, you can give Hogan a lot of shit, but at the very least, at least during Starrcade, at least you could say he was ready. I mean, it was only stuff that worked for him, but he was ready. Yeah. Yeah, it's just...
Break.
Yeah. Man, and that's something I would like DPS's opinion on, because he was a huge WCW guy. Oh, Impaler! Because the build-up, taking 18 months to build that up, I thought was fine. I just think that, but it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. The longer a wrestling storyline goes on, the odds just increase that it's gonna have a shit ending. You know, that's the way I feel about it, at least from what I've seen. I mean, there's certainly been great examples of long-term storytelling paying off, but there's also been that much more in that not paying off. I understand things happens, like people get hurt, you know, things change. I get it. It's just the longer you take, the bigger gamble you do. And I'm just saying this for the sake of WWE's like reputation and credibility. They legit cannot afford for this story to end like shit. They need it to end good. If it ends on shit, they will ruin their credibility. Like, it won't end them. They'll still be around. But it's gonna...
1, 2.
Pass count. Yeah. I can see that. Oh, Impaler with that sit-out bomb. I can see that. Man, I have to say, like, if you went back to the 80s and told a young Hulkamaniac that Hulk Hogan was going to be one of the most hated men in wrestling, he would have thought you were insane. Yeah, I will say this with Bischoff. I think I will give this to Bischoff. He was in a tough spot because he knew wrestling, but he wasn't a wrestling guy. He was a TV guy. But he at least tried to do his homework. I don't think Bischoff deserves all the crap he gets, in all honesty. I mean, he wasn't perfect. He certainly made mistakes, but all the stuff he told everyone, hey, we shouldn't do this. It's gonna ruin us. And they did it anyway, it ruined them. Plain and simple. Like, he didn't want to do Thunder, and they made him do Thunder, and he was right. It hurt them. And yeah, he has to fight with all his opinions. That's why, in my opinion, even though it's iconic and legendary, I don't think WCW should sign Hulk Hogan. I think that ruined them. Yeah, and I said this a while back, but I think a good way of ending that would have been them having a decent match. It didn't have to be 5 stars. It just had to be a decent match. And then during it, when Sting was starting to get the upper hand, you can have all the NWO guys come down. Oh, Tess, the champion's gone. We're gonna have a new champion tonight. But then all the WCW guys in unity, like stand in the entranceway, especially the guys in the audience that they had there, and block them and brawl with them, and then Sting gets him, Hogan gets him in a Scorpion Death Drop, hits the Death Lock, and makes him tap. You know, it would have been the best thing, but it would have been a lot better than what they ended up doing. Yeah, exactly. He should have. You see, and that's the thing too, like, I did hear, and this has been confirmed, that if Hogan didn't want to turn heel, they were going to turn Sting heel and have him lead the NWO. Which I think he could have done well, but I don't think the whole thing in itself would have been as good, because who would have been the babyface going against Sting? Because that's the other thing too, like I previously mentioned, that's one of the other biggest flaws that storyline had, is that the WCW guys weren't nearly as unified as they should have been. You think with that NWO thing, you think so many of those guys, maybe not all of them, but a good majority of them would have held up as a stable group in itself. And there was hints of them doing that sometimes, but they never went as far as I think they should have. Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I think if you didn't sign Hogan, but sign Tanaka was just critical by Awesome, but Awesome was hit with the miss. They're like suplex. Oh. Tiger Driver.
1, 2.
Oh. Power bomb. Oh, he's going for a springboard move. Hits a crossbody. Yeah, exactly. It's been a huge win for Gangrel. Oh, suplex lands him out of the ring. Oh, look at Awesome. Suicide dive to the outside.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Awesome, exactly.
13, 14,
100%. Yeah, I imagine this match will probably get 100.
17.
Ooh, awesome bomb. Awesome splash, but the ropes break it up. Gangrel really needs to hit an impaler right about now. Uh-oh. Sit out bomb, could it be enough? It is. Mike Awesome reclaims the title. And yeah, here's the crazy thing too. All 4 members of the NWO have the belts. Guerrero won it against Finlay. Vicious and Delicious retained, and now Mike Awesome has it. NWO have all the black and silver right now. Sonny gets on the plane. That'd be funny. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna do the calculations. See how well the pay-per-view did. It was pretty solid. There wasn't really... the Andre main match was rough, but outside of that, all of them was pretty decent. No, it's 10. Oh, 6? Oh, you mean the season? Yeah, the season's 6 events. Yeah, not 10. No, we're not close to that. Let's see. I'm gonna do those calculations. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna stay at 6. I have thought about, like, after season 5 increasing it to 8 and have that be the final number, but I don't want to bite off more than that because I don't know how many more guys are gonna be joining. You know, you never know, or leaving. You never know what happens. I mean, no one anticipated Sammy Smith leaving, but you know, shit happens in life, and this is. And while this isn't something that consumes your every waking moment, it is something you need to maintain consistent communication with. And that takes energy. You definitely have to have the drive for it. It's not like, unlike YWA, you can just do whatever with that. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing too. That's also the biggest reason why I don't do regular TWN pay-per-view events because I want to leave room for you guys to do your shows and your pay-per-views. I don't think we need, and that's why I also did All Stars because I wanted a place where we could hold more, like have a solid place for TWN title matches and maybe show off some free agents and have it be semi-consistent while still letting you guys do your own thing with more freedom. Okay, let me count here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like last time, like, because I felt like your guys' rosters were getting to a point where 3 matches is just not enough. And I feel like even though the spacing of it and the pacing might not always be consistent, I think having one show to call your own with 6 matches is better than sharing an event with 2 other promotions. I assume we can all still challenge on our old shows to fill the void of weekly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you guys wanted to do a pay-per-view during the season, you can. Like, I can't always guarantee when I'll do it, but pay-per-views can take priority. So if someone's taking a bit and to put their booking in, and I got some spare time, you can do a pay-per-view. Like, that's not no issue at all. That roster, yeah. Need MOAR. MOAR. Ah, man, what is MOAR? More? Okay, I do plan on, if that's what you mean, I do plan on streaming more tonight. I can actually stream Kick It Back Up in a little bit. I just gotta do the setup. It's gonna be No Mercy for the Creator Wrestler. I'm gonna try to keep that a little bit more tight, but I do plan on actually playing No Mercy. It won't just be a Create a Wrestler thing, so we will see some gameplay action in that as well. And of course talking and whatnot. Means more wrestlers. Ah! Yeah. Yeah, he does have one of the smaller rosters in the league, so he definitely could get more and still be pretty balanced out. Alright, I got an 84 for this show here, so not bad. And we'll add that to this. Cody and Roman. With it beyond. Yeah, But with the new system in place, like, because now you have roster slots and wrestlers are separate now for getting. So if you want another roster slot, it's 20 credits, and to sign a wrestler, it's 10. Though that number can vary based on a wrestler's history and prior promotions and stuff. It could be more or less, but the default's 10 for now at least. So if you just pick up a random wrestler in free agency with a roster slot, it's still gonna be the amount is the same as before, but now it can vary. So if you want to stack up on roster slots and then pick up wrestlers later down the line or whatever, you can. All right, but yeah. I have thought I had. Oh, DPS does not like the Punk trashing. Definitely not a fan of that. I will say though, like, in the whole situation, I think the Omega and the Young Bucks, I think they were more in the wrong than CM Punk. I definitely think Punk was more on the right than... And this thing, even now, I don't 100% comprehend what happened and all that. I understand it for the most part, but it still confuses my brain a little bit. But after hearing and seeing all that, I do agree that I do feel like Punk maybe got a little bit screwed over. I mean, yeah. I mean, he definitely let his freak flag fly during the thing. He should have. I will say this: I do think he probably should have managed it in house, and he probably shouldn't have done the rant. But that's Punk, though. That's what he does. I mean, that's what made him big, is that unfilteredness. I mean, you can't really turn that off, even after so many years. Yeah, man. It's gonna make playing that AEW video game very weird. Yeah, exactly. Alright, I will give this to Vince McMahon. Even though he made a lot of decisions I 100% don't agree with, at the end of the day, he was the guy. He was the boss. His word was law, and everyone respected that. They could disagree with it, and they could even leave if they didn't like it. But the buck stopped with him, and I kind of have to respect that a little bit, even though I wouldn't call him an exact role model. I do think that, I do like that about him, that he was the guy, that was his show, and you either liked it or hated it. But he was in control, and I respect that. Yeah, because if that tried happen, because Vince would have stopped that shit in its tracks. He would have been like, you guys are done. And yeah, exactly. He would have handled that, like, really smoothly. I will give him that. Alright, but yeah, guys, it's just gonna be a quick little break. I gotta do some setup, and we're gonna kick it back up with some No Mercy Creative Wrestler thing. The theme for this guy is old school. I did put on some profile ideas on the Discord to kind of get us brainstorming a little bit, so we have something to go by, so we're not sitting here for 20 minutes trying to come up with basic stuff, because it can happen sometimes. We get a little writer's block. So yeah, and I could do more of that too on stream if we need more of it. But yeah, so I do plan on doing that, and plus playing a bit of the game as well. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and yeah, just give me a few minutes, and I'll resume a stream through some No Mercy stuff. And yeah, but for those of you that need to stop right in this track right here for the night, thanks for watching. In case you guys wanted to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, you didn't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab in our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. We also have a Patreon page as well. Main goal of the page is to raise money for the channel, to give the channel a bigger budget, to do more ambitious things. And also start making merchandise for the channel as well. Merchandise itself, we gear toward aspects of the channel that you guys enjoy. So any support we get for that is much appreciated. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.